Hi, I'm Will House, and this is going to be my intro to the VC vinyl community video here on the YouTubes, as well as an installment in the cool thing that's going around, that being 10, count them 10 records that the rest of the vinyl community probably doesn't have. I have. And that just sounds like way too much fun. I have to do that now. Yes, thank you. Okay, that's going to be my nervous tick, I think, throughout this whole thing. Anyway, we're going to start out with some discs that my partner gave me because she's so freaking cool. And she likes me to have the good things, the nice things in life. Namely, a box set, the Voyager Golden Record. This one actually needs a little bit of explanation, I suppose. Well, I mean, anybody who knows about it already knows about it. You already realize how cool I am because I own this box set. But, yeah, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 were a pair of space probes launched by NASA in 1977. They are currently zooming out of our solar system right now, so many years later, like 50 years later. No, I don't know how many years later, 47 or something. No, 45, I guess. 55? No, 45 years, I think. And yeah, one of the things about this space probe was that they literally put a record on it. And it is literally a golden record, right? And it has this like cool graphic design on there, which is a little bit, anyway, too shiny here. But that is like a bitchin' description of how the aliens who might find these probes in however many tens of thousands of years that could conceivably happen would be able to replicate all of the data that's on this record. It's both audio and video that they managed to cram on there at extraordinarily low resolution, but still, it's one of the coolest things ever. Like, there's a satellite floating through space, and it has a whole bunch of just like human voices, earthlings' voices, and art and music and just awesome stuff. Here's a shot of one of the rockets getting launched. So yeah, it comes with this super cool book. And yeah, if you take a look here, you get photos that were these are the photos that are comes with all sorts of stuff. It actually showed up with a turntable mat as well, which I use on my turntable because I love Voyager so much. But yeah, take a look at any one of these discs, and all of the discs are, of course, golden. Get it? Golden in the golden. Yeah, I am extraordinarily proud to have these things. 3 discs in all. And the cool box even comes with a ribbon, so you can pull the stuff out of the box and handle it with relative ease. Much not how I've been doing it here. And yeah, so that is the Voyager Golden Record. I think it's by Ozma is the name of the label. Doesn't say on the box though. 2. Second here, this was a Christmas present from my partner, once again, because she's so bitchin' and wants me to have the good things in life. This one is a reissue. It's Cochin Moon. And the artist's name is, Hasuomi Hosono, I think, Haruomi Hosono. An extraordinarily prolific Japanese composer from, I think he was primarily active in the 80s and 90s. This one's from the 80s, I believe. Yeah, this was intended to be a collaboration between Haruomi Hosono and Tadanori Yoku. And it's called Cochin Moon. The label paid for them to travel through India for a summer, and in India in the summer it tends to get extraordinarily hot. So apparently these 2 guys, one of whom I think was like a graphic designer, I think, and the other was, of course, this composer. As they were traveling, having this absolutely miserable experience in scorchingly hot India, they were supposed to get the inspiration. They would need to make the soundtrack for a movie that did not exist. Like, it was this big kind of thought music experiment, and the result is Coach and Moon. And I think you don't have it basically because it's freaking weird. It's synthesizers all over the place. You could say it's psychedelic, but it's not. You could say that it's very Japanese, but yeah, I mean, it is inspired very much by India. You can feel that sometimes in there. There's one track that I absolutely fell rabidly in love with, called Hepatitis. It's on here. It sounds like a weird train that's made of insects, but everything is really cute, and you just want to like jump along and ride this train that's made out of bugs. Yeah, so that's it. Coach and Moon is a cool disc. Highly recommended. This is a disc I haven't actually spun yet, but yeah, my partner back in the early aughts was a DJ at her college radio station, and one of the discs they had was this thing. It is from the Radio Nederland transcription service, and yeah, it's all Dutch avant-garde music that came to prominence in 1984. And yeah, I'm going to take this to work in the next few weeks and spin it there, and we'll see what the kids at the college have to say about the Dutch avant-garde music that came to prominence in 1984. It's going to be exceptionally fun. Horsies. Fortunately here for my partner as well here, it's a disc that I think a lot of people probably do have amongst the vinyl community, but probably not in this version. Tom Waits, The Black Rider. This was actually the Tom Waits record that came out like I first got into Tom Waits, which was a very long time ago, and I just had no idea that I would be going so deep into the darkest, most interesting depth of Waits. But this is a good place to start. Like The Black Rider. So yeah, this is I think maybe even an unofficial pressing, but it's like a European one. My partner was in Europe and realized that like this was a record that I didn't have. She remembered it. I told her that I didn't have a copy of The Black Rider because it was so expensive when I realized that it existed back in the day. And this one's particularly cool because it is that color. This one came in, oh, here, got a nice little portrait of Tom as well. But yeah, this came in this cool blue color as well as a cool red color. And the blue one is mine, and I love this thing like the crazy. Number 5. Also, from my partner, you might have this one. This is a new one. But I don't think there's a really big demand for it. And if you don't have it, you try to get a copy because it's just that good. Edo Funk Explosion. I don't know if it's pronounced Edo or Edo, but you just can't really get better than this. It's from Analog Africa. I actually was turned on to this by a YouTube vinyl community member, so thank you very much. I absolutely am blanking on who it was, but they're obviously very cool because they turned me on to such a thing as this. Sublime gatefold, perhaps. It also comes with a big friggin' booklet. Like, this is just pure luxury here. Like when they say that one of the cool things about records is that you get like all of the cool large scale like material, just like the physicality of it. Like this is as good as you can get. I mean, it's all full color. It's on thick paper stock, and it even smells good. But yeah, it's a 2-disc set, and literally, like as soon as you drop the needle on this thing, it's just it's groovy as hell, and it's just so nice, so very, very nice. Also, yeah, it's really, really well designed, all in all, in case you couldn't tell. Like, the inside is really cool. The discs themselves aren't extraordinarily fantastic or anything like that. But yeah, really cool. Just plain old black vinyl. And, yeah. Excellent stuff. Very well designed, as you can tell by the nice sort of complementary color harmony of the labels. Very, very cool stuff. And yeah, I've listened to a few of the other Analog Africa releases online. I've downloaded them and played them at work. And they're all fascinating, but yeah, I don't like all of them, but the ones that I like, it's one of those things like, yeah, if you like it, you're probably going to adore it, love it, dance to it, remember it till the day you die, that sort of thing. It's just that good. Analog Africa, Edo Funk Explosion. Number 6. Number 6. Number 6. Anyhow, I think a lot of VC people do own this disc, but my version is a little bit unique in that you see the blue sticker on there, and this was made for the tour that Diva did in New Zealand. So, I bought this at a thrift store. I have no idea why it was here by me in Illinois, but it totally was. And, the record itself has this cool, like, where are we at here? Greek key design that goes around the edge of the thing, and hopefully that's in focus. But yeah, the New Traditionalists astronaut, like, that's typically a thing with Diva. It's just very nicely art directed albums and stuff, so you really just can't go wrong with Diva, especially if it's an old pressing. Like, the sleeves all come with the Diva merch advertisements, and this one makes mention of the Diva easy listening music tape, which you can find on YouTube. People have put it up there, and it's amazing. It's just like an even more synthetic and even dorkier version of like all their other hits. This little sticker there identifies this as a copy that includes working in the coal mine, and this one has a kind of interesting, unique striped label. And apparently this wacky striped label is only a thing with the New Zealand tour printed issues. Maybe they had a ton of these afterwards and they sold them in the States, and that's how I managed to get a copy. But whatever the case, I am very happy to have this record, and I'm very happy to have a kind of unique version of this record. It's always fun to have something like that. Yeah. Next up. An old friend of mine, one of my oldest friends, is a guy named Matthew Schneider. He's a fabulous guitarist, and this is him nowadays. Moon Brothers, which I'm not sure if you're supposed to say Moon Bros or Moon Brothers. I believe he named this odd incarnation of musicianship that he heads. It's basically him with whomever else he is playing with at the time. He's this phenomenal guitarist who taught himself how to play the sixth string by kind of learning to perfectly emulate anything that Chet Atkins ever put on record. So, yeah, if you know anything about mid-century guitar, you should understand how impressive that is. And that's what you got to sort of find with these things. Cool indie printing stuff. This one is from Western Vinyl, the ones who put it out, and I believe this cover art is by John Herndon of Tortoise. But yeah, he's a buddy of Matt's, like everybody is. Like Matt knows a lot of people. And the first one on here is Ubub, and I love it. It's it's just so good. It's like it's hard to explain. But yeah, this is an old friend of mine, and I love the guy, and that's his record. And interestingly enough, this little skull here kind of looks like that. Next up, Sam Precop, a guy from Sea and Cake. This is his first solo record, and my buddy Matt gave it to me many years ago. It's proven to be like one of my long-term most favorite records. It's like this. It has an excellent lineup of Chicago music kind of people. It's on Thrill Jockey Records. I don't think it's ever had a second printing or anything. But yeah, it's like it is a really gentle record, and at the same time it's like really like cool grooves, jazz kind of grooves, but in like a late 90s indie rock way, translated through 90s indie rock. And yeah, I've listened not to the record, but yeah, I've listened to the first Sam Precop solo record literally hundreds of times. And yeah, like the lyrics are like an instrument in and of themselves. Yeah, it's just good. Good art. Sam Precop, first record, good art. Next up. Pine Top 7, Rigging the Top Lights. This is another gift from my old friend Matt. And yeah, I actually saw this band play with Calexico, and the opener was Mouse on Mars. And it was a cool show, but yeah, it comes with a little lyric sheet, which is kind of nice. Yeah, it's sort of like a, I don't want to say spaghetti western or anything like that, but they definitely have like a sun-baked desert atmospheric kind of sound, as you might expect from like the truck wagon sort of look of this thing. Yeah, Truck Stop Records, cool Chicago label. Like, yeah, my buddy Matt used to live at Truck Stop Records, and yeah, like this one, he even signed it to me, which is cool. Complete with a "Merry Xmas, you rat bastard" at the end. And yeah, it's a cool record. It's like, it's diggable. And if you ever have a chance to pick up Rigging the Top Lights by Pine Top 7, I believe it's their first one. And yeah, it's a good one. Sadly, my copy smells a little musty. Next up, REM, but not REM. Bingo Hand Job. Apparently this was released a few years ago, or recently, as a Record Store Day disc. But this is an OG copy. Yeah, if you look at the discs themselves, the labels actually kind of seem spray painted on, which is really weird. But yeah, it's a double disc. It's a show that REM played in London. Yeah, it says Religious Records, promo only. Yeah, I got this bootleg. Yeah, well, anyway, it's the 15th of, it's the Ides of March, I think, in 1991. I played this gig. Actually sounds a little bit like the REM Unplugged disc, or, yeah, performance. Yeah, every now and then REM would play miscellaneous little clubs. And whenever they did, they would give themselves a new name for the night. To keep it kind of low-key, and this one was Bingo Hand Job. And for whatever reason, maybe just because of their name that night, it has become a kind of famous record. And yeah, I bought this one at a record store that, wow, basically it was out-competed by Best Buy there in the 90s. And yeah, I've never forgiven Best Buy for that shit. So, yeah, don't buy your records at Best Buy. Don't buy a goddamn thing at Best Buy. Next up, OG print of a record that I don't really like anymore. I kind of grew out of this band. But, yeah, it seems to have, people like them because they're 90s good smart rock, I suppose. Live, Throwing Copper. I bought this one brand new, and it has the shrink on it. Hype sticker and everything. Ooh, hype. But yeah, it's a great sounding record, and mine is a little bbit more rare because it is the snazzy transparent vinyl limited edition. And, you know, the thing limited in 1994 was pretty freaking limited. I don't know how many copies of this thing were made, but yeah, not too many, and I got one of them. Actually, the first time I ever went to buy concert tickets for myself, I knew that Live was going to come play a show at the Metro in Chicago, and I wanted to go. So I went to this record store that sold concert tickets, and I was like, hey, do you guys have any tickets for the Live show? It's coming up at the Metro. And they're like, yeah, who? What show? I was like, the Live show, the band, Live. And they had no idea what I was talking about. And I am still kind of embarrassed about that to this day, because it's the first time I ever went into like the snazzy record store and tried to buy tickets for a show. But yeah, if, VC, if any are wondering what I might be able to throw into the mix as far as VCLT goes, this might be in there. If you like them, you should let me know. All right. Next one up is just one of these discs that I found in the bargain bin. Most of the records that I bought in the last 10 years have been bargain bin records because records have been getting expensive, and I only quit smoking like 8 years ago, and I have kind of money again. This one is Downbeat the Ruler. Best of Studio One killer instrumentals. So yeah, if you were anybody in Jamaica who ever made a good record in like the 60s and 70s, 50s, maybe even Studio One was where you would like go if you wanted to get the good sound. And this is just a whole bunch of instrumental tracks with like all those super good grooves. Like it's rock steady stuff and reggae stuff, but it's like dubs basically. If you like dub music at all, you put this on and you like get inspired to like make your own stuff. Really, I think is what you do. But super great record. I think it cost me like $4 or something. And spun it for the first time a month or two ago, and I've listened to it like at least like 3 times since then. Good stuff. Now, this is a recent acquisition that I just spun for the first time this past week. Andy Summers and Robert Fripp, the guitarist from The Police, and well, Fripp, like he's the guy who did all the stuff on Bowie's Heroes. Like it was Fripp and Eno who made that crazy noise on Bowie's Heroes record. So yeah, the guitarist from The Police and the guitarist from Bowie's Heroes did a record together, and it's all instrumental and it's all weirdness, like postmodern, angsty, malaise, the weird awesomeness from 1980, whatever it is, I think. Yeah, 1982. So this is, it's good stuff. Also, it's relevant too. Like it's called I Advance Masked. Relevant. Arty angsty malaise. 1982 to 2022. It's relevant. Buy one of these things. They're not expensive. There was a movie that came out in the 80s called Koyaanisqatsi, also known as Life Out of Balance. It's the first of a series of movies that's all about how we humans are screwing up the earth that we're on. We're just polluting the living shit out of it. I mean, everybody knows it, but this is like a really, really artful series of films about it. And the music is by Philip Glass, and it is very unique. Like if you've never listened to Philip Glass on vinyl on a good hi-fi, it's intense. But yeah, I am a big fan of the movie. Like its visual signature, it's just remarkable in like every way, and the music is very much like that as well. And I don't know if we're going to be able to get the cool look here, but the disc itself is not actually, might be a little bit of it. It's not opaque. It is semi-transparent or translucent or whatever, and it's actually like this really cool indigo sort of purpley color. And this is the thing apparently, like with some of the like more higher quality prints in the 80s and 90s, like some of the different vinyl compositions they used were just a little bit more translucent. Like like the Police Synchronicity, my copy is kind of like this ambery brown color, but yeah, this purple and it's Koyaanisqatsi, and yeah, this was a good eBay purchase. Like if you get it on the Antilles label, it should be that nice quality, not really black vinyl. And once you know the music, it's pretty unforgettable. And yeah, I can't wait to spin this one. Yeah, this is going to be one that I spin at work, and people are going to be like, "What?" And it'll be a good time. Lastly, one of my oldest friends, this guy Eric. He got married and he had kids, and at some point they had a garage sale and he was selling a whole bunch of his records, and I was like, dude, are you serious? You're selling these records? And I only had $50, but he took that for a number of them. That's how I got my copy of The Velvet Underground of Nico, and Vintage Violence by John Cale, and Metal Machine Music, a Tim Buckley record, lots of good stuff. But also another one of them was this. Yeah, I'm sure the VC, plenty of you have this, but yeah, this is like the original version of The Man Who Sold the World, like the first pressings. And when they sent them to Japan, and the first few that they sent to the United States had this cover design on it. And one of the cool things is that it has this, like the whole "Oh boy, Jingo" bit, yeah, is visualized on the back of the disc. And yeah, it's just cool. It's cool. Doesn't smell too bad, I'm happy to say. This one's not going to be rotten. And yeah, it's on Mercury Records, which is a little bit more of a rarity. I think most Bowie stuff from the 70s is on RCA. So yeah, it's cool. Bowie, Man Who Sold the World, it's been one of my favorite records for 25 years now. And yeah, you just have to get a vinyl copy of this one. And this particular version is the one that's trickier to find. And yeah, it's one of these that only comes out when I can sit there and do nothing but listen to it. And yeah, it's one of those. It's a special one. Special one. That's all I got for now. So hopefully be able to get some more videos going up in here. Maybe I can tell you about the Elvis Costello-ness there. That's actually from my brother. The Energy Dome is mine. Yeah. Maybe I can tell you about my tattoo at some point. Yeah, I got Charles Mingus tattooed on me. That was my first and one of my only tattoos. But yeah, I'm Wheelhouse. I love records. I love talking about records. I like cameras. I like talking about cameras. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of lazy, but we'll be talking. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, TKR. Thank you, everybody, for listening to me, my rambles. My pasty rambles. Pasty rambles. Pasty rambles. Bye.